team is targeted to attack Caucasians and black people. The people who are most immune are Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese.
Well, I don't know if you can hear me or not. That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen with an opener ever. It didn't play, or it sort of played, it kind of played, or maybe it didn't play at all. I didn't hear any of it. It was very jerky, very jumpy, and I must have buggered something up because tonight, as we were last night, but I didn't mention it, I forgot, we're back on Project Matilda. But Project Matilda has dropped off tonight, so I've just had to kick it while that opener was playing. And yeah, I don't know. Tell me in the chat, folks, is it coming through all right? Can you hear me all right? Is it jerky? Is it jumpy? I'm not trying to be too dramatic when it comes to waving glasses around and all that sort of stuff, but let me know whether or not it's all going, because I've got some really cool stuff to talk to you about, and I want to make sure that you can see it, which is a bit of a bummer because they're videoed. So fingers crossed it plays correctly. So some of you, I think I sent 25 envelopes out toward the end of last week. I think it was last Friday. Some of those started to arrive yesterday in Queensland and Victoria. I've had some emails from people that it's arrived at. In fact, first email I got this morning was from Stu, who tells me that it's the best night's sleep he's ever had in like ages, and couldn't believe how good a night's sleep he had and how good he felt today. So fingers all the way up for that. I've also had a couple of emails from ladies who have tried the patches and can't believe the difference it's made to them, but they're too worried about, well, whatever they're worried about. They're not going to share a video with me, unfortunately. However, I did get a video from a lady named Kate. Now, Kate sent me her story when she asked me to send her a couple of patches just to try them out. And I've got to say, it's a hell of a story. Now, this morning at 6:20, she sent an email back to me, and it had 2 videos in it. So I've put the 2 of them together here for you. I want you to sit back and watch this. Now, I think Kate's from Queensland, and well, I think the video is pretty self-explanatory. So for those of you who are still waiting for your patches to arrive, and can I tell you, the mailman turned up to me today. That's what they wind up looking like. And if I reach in there, you'll find the packet is there. I'm about to start filling out and throwing out envelopes with your name on it if you're on my list. So carl@vofhq.com. I will send you a couple. Hang on, we'll stop that. I've only got enough patches here in the envelope that it all turns up in. So quite a large kind of thing. I've got enough here for, I think, about another 60 people. I think, no, not 60, 30 people. Beg your pardon. So well, they'll be mailed Monday. So those of you who are waiting for the ones that I've already sent out, then let's have a look at Kate's story, and you get a bit of an idea, I hope, of what might happen for you.
This was me 6 years ago. I used to travel all all over Australia. And no matter what vehicle I had, I would pack up and go. And I loved every moment of it. But I had to stop due to pain. I am a 39-year-old female with functional neurological disorder, arthritis, fibromyalgia, chronic pain, depression and irritable bowel syndrome. I also have psoriasis, chronic sinusitis, complex migraines, severe brain fog, fatigue, eyesight problems, nausea, vomiting, hay fever, severe inflammation, arthritis on my hands since I was 13. I get brittle hair and hair loss. And often my bladder and bowels stop working and I have to have a catheter put in just to empty my bladder. This is me in the mornings. I wake up in the mornings in pain and I have to try and roll over to get my pain meds. And that takes about an hour to kick in. I am in an electric bed so I can sit myself up to take my medication. This is me trying to walk around on a slightly bad day. And I had to turn around and go back and use my wheelchair. I've gained 30 kilos in the last couple of years due to deterioration in my mobility and my struggle to prep and cook healthy meals. I don't have enough strength to use a handheld can opener nor pull the ring. I require a shower commode to shower as I can't stand for long periods of time. I can no longer do my child's hair for school in the mornings and need assistance. I'm 39 and I spent 80% of my life in bed on 11 different medications and no real help from doctors. I'll be trialling LifeWave X39 patches and documenting every step of the way.
I woke up in the morning and I got out of bed and I haven't taken any opiates. What up? What up? Oh my gosh. Do you know what this means?
What?
Camping. Holidays. What else? What else? Walking the dogs. I'm out of breath. I'm so unfit. Okay, thank you.
What do you say about the end of that video? I mean, seriously, I didn't, for some reason, I'm playing videos out here and you're seeing them okay, but I'm not. So you might have had a big gap between the end of that and me appearing again. Sorry about that. But that's Kate's reaction this morning. She put the patch on, she says, at about 12:30 last night. And I had that email in my inbox at 6:20 this morning. So I don't know, folks. Can't say it's going to work for everybody. Everybody is different. I know nothing about medicine. I only believe what I believe with what I see with my own eyes, what I can hear with my own ears, and what I can, define. And I haven't had anybody yet who's tried these have, major failures outside of 2 people. And I've handed out a lot of patches. I hope and pray that for those folks that are on my list, those folks that are already got them in the mail and they're coming to you, I hope you have exactly the same relief, smile, benefit that Kate's got. The thing that really got me in Kate's second video was the fact she was saying to her 7-year-old daughter, who no doubt hasn't had a mum that's been able to do much for a while, clearly spending 80% of her time in bed. Look at the excitement on her face when she's telling her little girl, do you know what this means? Do you know what this means? Camping, holidays, walking the dogs, little things. But maybe little things that little girl has never experienced with her mum before, because clearly camping, if you've got a back troubles like she's had, isn't easy. Not easy to get around a campsite in a wheelchair. Not easy to get in and out of a camp bed, a sleeping bag. So I believe that Kate has actually ordered a packet of patches as well. Those 2 that I sent her obviously will finish up today, but hopefully, like me, she got a little present in the mail today. So with a bit of luck, we'll see. If she did, that'll be great. If she didn't, that may not necessarily be a bad thing either, because it will allow you to quantify for yourself whether or not there is any benefit to the patch. If you go off the patch again, you go on it, you have relief, you come off it, you don't. It's pretty easy to quantify. I am led to believe that even once you come off the patch for a few days, you do still get relief. Yes, your troubles may return, but they may return softened somewhat, almost like they'd been repaired, if you like. So this is all evidence that has been presented in testimonials from people that you can find associated with the x39freedom.net website. Go along and have a look there if you so desire. And if you want to join, there is a link which I will paste and put up in the chat now. It's not in the links that are on Rumble tonight, folks, and I haven't got a Rumble channel up. I will paste it there. It is on the Voice of Freedom website. If it's not there right now, it will be a little bit later on. Vince is actually out tonight doing My Place things. So he is going to put a link up on the front page of the vofhq.com website. So if you miss it in the chats tonight, or you want to go and find it when you're watching later, then you know it'll be there somewhere on the VoFHQ website. And we're going to put a page up for testimonials like Kate's, because it's the whole reason I'm doing it. That smile, that energy, that excitement, the lack of pain. It's just, I mean, I know it's life-changing for the people that are experiencing it, but I can't begin to tell you how good it makes me feel. It just humbles me that I've been lucky enough to be able to share a little bit of something that I've had shared with me, and it makes such a difference in your life, such a difference in my life. So thank you to those who've decided to try it. Thank you to those that are skeptical of it, because I want to test this. They all can't be good news stories. There's got to be some people, obviously, that it doesn't work for. The 2 that I know won't talk about it exactly, but they'll tell me about it, but they don't want to come on and talk about it or do a little video about it. So, and as I've stated with those 2, I think that there were other reasons for that too. And they're not conversations you have, particularly with one of those people, because they're just not awake at all. Margot, good on you. I think I hope and pray that it gives you the relief that it's given me, and obviously Kate and Carol, who I was talking to yesterday for over an hour. She couldn't stop. Rachel. Oh, no, I hit 10 cent instead. Hello, 10 cent. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Rachel. So I don't know if you got the message on your phone. I was only 9 hours late ringing you, but give me a call after the show. And if you can, you might be working, but if not, give me a call over the weekend. Not Sunday. Sunday's a really bad day. It's my mum's birthday Sunday, folks. She turns 88, which is a very, very special year if you're Chinese. She's not. Just to be clear, in case somebody wants to go off and accuse me of coming from the Chinese Masons. May or may not be the case. Definitely not the case. So she's turning 88. So we're taking her out for lunch. We're going to make her a nice special day, which will be, taking her out for a pub meal, basically. And spending some time with her. So Sunday, very, very busy day. And I know there are so many people that were looking forward to catching up. And we will. I'm flat out at the moment and under a great deal of not pressure. It's there's a lot of call on my time in different areas at the moment. And one of the areas is getting the bus looked at, sorted, and serviced. I don't really know that I need a service. So I've done 10,000 Ks in her, and I didn't change the oil filters and whatnot, but I did put a bit more oil in her and made sure water was all good and all that sort of stuff. But I'm going to get it serviced because then we'll have a baseline. Today, I managed to find someone reasonably close to where I am who is brave enough to give the LPG a look. So we may at least be able to find what hoses need replacing and potentially some way of replacing them. On the other hand, we may be laughed off the lot, but we'll see what happens there. Also trying to get my new awning sorted because the awning on the side of the vehicle, as you all know, had a minor mishap after bouncing its ass between Adelaide and nearly Bacchus Marsh. Hello to Beckio and the crew from Truth Seekers. It popped open at the front, only by about that much, but that was enough. It was a very old awning, and it started shredding itself immediately. So, yes, God rest it. It's gone to a landfill somewhere around Bacchus Marsh by now. So I'm getting a new one of those. Hopefully only need a canvas. So that's what I've been trying to investigate this week. But look, it is a couple of weeks before Christmas. They're not taking too many new orders and certainly not making any deliveries this side of Christmas. And I'm not asking for that. So all I want to do is try and get into the line, into the queue. So I've been working pretty hard on that. I've had a friend who has had to go in and have major surgery. She had a 17 centimeter cyst found on an ovary, I think it was. And on further inspection, wound up having not just that ovary taken, but both the tubes as well. And came home after surgery. I don't think it was same day, might have been next day. That made it last night. And it turns out this girl has a wonderful mother who is a doctor, came over to have a look and got very concerned. So she's now back in hospital, and we're quite worried about her with internal bleeding and a few other bits and pieces. So been sending prayers her way today and trying to keep abreast of what's been going on with her. Hopefully we'll learn more tomorrow, but she sat for, bloody near 24 hours and still hasn't had a ultrasound. She's had x-rays, but not an ultrasound. I would have thought the ultrasound would be the first thing you'd do if you suspected there was internal bleeding. But hey, I keep telling you, I'm not a doctor. I do not give medical advice, so do not listen to me in that regard. Just Godspeed to her. Stu, I've only seen one message. Have you had a drama today? SW. Yeah, stick a patch on him, mate. Yeah, I just about could. Not just yet, though. We'll make sure that most of the good things have stopped or most of the bad things have stopped from the hospital before I start getting involved with that, I think. Martin, wondering where the Aussie Cossack is. Haven't seen him on your live like the old days. No, well, he only came on here when he needed something. He never came on when I actually wanted him to. He only came on if there was some reason for him to come on, something for him to promote about him. That was generally how the Aussie Cossack worked on just about everybody else's channels too, from memory. And if you wanted to get on his, you might note he never had me on his channel. Now, there's a reason for that. That's because he was worried that if he put me on his channel, which had a much, much bigger audience, then he was worried I was going to pinch some of those people and make my audience big. And he didn't want anybody else to have a big audience. And I can back that up with conversations we had about setting up the Freedom Broadcasting, well, what is now the Freedom Broadcasting Network. He was offering me all sorts of things, including accommodation, a house in Sydney on the water, for Laura and I to go down there and start this sort of studio business with him. My idea was to have it for all freedom fighters, but he made it very clear that it only had to be about him, and I said I couldn't do it on that basis. And shortly thereafter, and I mean shortly, within days, he wound up locked up. And he wound up being inside for 6 months or so, or whatever that was. I started the postcard campaign for him to, cheer him up. It was also to see what sort of a bloke he was at the end of it. Since then, I think it's pretty much spoken for itself. He has done what he's done. Wound up, getting himself into the Russian consulate to avoid being put back in jail again after allegedly stepping inside areas he shouldn't have stepped inside of, but weren't actually barriered off or whatever. It was clear there's been quite a vendetta, I think, raged against him, and he ducked for cover, and he ducked when I don't think any of the authorities thought he was going to duck too. That clearly has played out into his hands, because while he was detached from everybody on the outside of the walls, because he couldn't go outside, he'd get arrested, he did have a very good network of very close friends around him that were organising his rallies and, the other bits and pieces that he's been associated with, including the Freedom Rally that most recently got hijacked by a bunch of politicians. There was a reasonably large sum of money involved in that. A donation to getting everything that was required, staging, microphones, whatever else was needed, permits, I suppose, too. That all seemed to blow up there for a little while and then just sort of went away. I think we all figured out where everything went. And then, of course, fortuitously, the Aussie Cossack was granted Russian citizenship, so he now holds a dual passport. I'm not following what he's doing. I know he does a show on one of the Russian channels, the main government Russian channel. I think they're all main government Russian channels, but he's on a pretty big one. And I'm not sure if it's a daily show or a once a week show or how it works, but he's definitely doing reports back into Russia from Australia as their correspondent. Now, what he's reporting on, I have absolutely no idea, and how he's getting his information, I don't know. I do know that very tight group of friends that were around him did dwindle somewhat. I'm not saying it's gone down to nothing, but many of them were got a little disenchanted for many of the same reasons that others have been disenchanted with other leaders in the movement, and they've slowly drifted away, or less support was lent to them. I think Cossack suffered a bit from that, but who knows? He could have been under diplomatic passport, taken from the consulate to the airport. He could, for all intents and purposes, for I know, be sitting in the Kremlin right now doing his show. Doesn't matter. I think a lot of people, I could be very wrong, but I think a lot of people felt pretty disappointed in the Aussie Cossacks' actions. rightly or wrongly. People feel the way that they feel. So I know I felt a certain way at the time. Now, it doesn't really matter because I know that he doesn't care. He doesn't care whether we are upset or not. He's still got X amount of followers and they're paying X amount a month. And he's now being paid by whoever's paying him to do this TV show. And he will be being paid very handsomely for that too, because you have to understand, back in Russia, having an Aussie on the ground like him, he did, just imagine what he did for us, okay, how we became aware of the Aussie Cossack. Now, imagine that's just been unleashed on a couple 100 million Russians. I think he's going to be doing all right, okay? I really do, and good luck to him. I don't think there's too much relevance left here in Australia. I don't know how you come back. People do forgive or make excuses. Speaking of making excuses, I've had conversations today with a couple of unexpected types. These people are very definitely not on our side of the argument. And one of them I queried about the figures that have come out of New Zealand from the head administrator of that particular system of 2.2 million Kiwis. The excuses that came out, I laughed out loud actually, because I really didn't expect this person to come back with the excuses that I got. And I was saddened a bit by it. But the excuses were, and no, in no particular order or range, and I'm sort of paraphrasing here, the excuses were, he's not a statistician, he's just a computer nerd, or along those lines. Yes, he had access, but not to all the data. He didn't have access to all the data. He only had access to the bits and pieces that they, allowed him to have access to, sort of thing. Well, no, he built the system. He actually built the pay per dose system being used by all the other systems in New Zealand too, I think. So even if it's not, it's still 2.2 million people, a very good sample. It is raw data, and they used that as an excuse too, because clearly it hadn't had time to be cross-referenced. It's wrong in areas, and it's wrong in areas. The range of excuses were serious, unbelievably embarrassing from our perspective, saddened, because I respect this person, and I was just saddened that even with that kind of evidence, I didn't even bother mentioning the Navy guy, the head of Navy medicals, and his detailed summation of the medical disasters that have occurred directly related to the jibbity jab. 963% increase in heart conditions, heart attacks. And that's just in the pilots who fly in the Navy with winged and rotary winged aircraft. Not all the sailors, not everybody in the Navy, just the pilots. So I don't know how they'd come back from that. At some point, there's going to be a groundbreaking awakening, and they hope that will happen for me just as much as I hope that it will happen for them. I've also been contacted by someone else, definitely not of our side of the fence. I'll be interested to see where the communications go, but I'm not going to waste a huge amount of time on it. Sometimes from the opposition, you can glean very good conversations if you're willing to let everybody have their say. Where I think people with differing opinions run into problems is when we start saying it's a fact. And when they start saying it's a fact, because we know their facts are fucked. Can't fight a fight with fucked facts. Just saying. But they would argue the same against us. So now, if you're not doing it already, you should be collating these evidences that we have of the things of which we believe. There is a lot of it. You should have plenty of it on your computer. You should be starting to think about how you would save that and say, well, listen, I will convince you or you will convince me. Show me your evidence. Now, they can roll out mainstream media, newspaper articles and all that sort of shit, which you should be able to debunk very, very easily. And, you know, one day I hope to have a pack you'll just have to download and say, play this. But haven't got that yet. So at the moment, if you want to do that, you're going to have to do it yourself. But, you know, sorry, I've just seen one of the comments there. I'm going to star that and come back to it. It's really thrown me for a loop. Sorry, I'll change tack completely and go to the comment that I've starred and want to have a look at. Okay, I hadn't heard that. I did hear that somebody was surprised that Ricardo was working with Hoodie. I don't think that's the case. I think he was referring to Hoodie's helpers. And if you're unaware, I'm pretty confident that if you go and have a bit of a look, you'll find that Hoodie's helpers is either dissolved or no longer has Hoodie as part of Hoodie's helpers. And that's because Hoodie's helpers got rid of him, not because Hoodie wanted to leave. Now, unless he somehow started up another Hoodie's helpers or something like that, which is highly possible, maybe probable, I don't know. But there was some drama. I don't know enough about it to care, or I don't care enough about it to know. But there were problems, and I know that Hoodie's helpers fragmented. And, of course, the others mentioned in there, well, evidence speaks for itself. I'm fully expecting exactly the same comment to be made about me being a grifter now that I'm showing you these pain patches. Look, if anybody thinks that I'm doing this for any other reason than to put fuel in the bus, get the bus fixed, and get on the road to help you build your communities, they are sadly mistaken. Everything that the Voice of Freedom gets out of any small commission that comes out of a sale of these patches goes straight into the tank of the bus, the running costs of the bus. That's where it goes. So if you're happy to help buy those patches, if they help you, don't buy them if they don't. Right? I don't want you buying things that aren't going to help you. But if they help you, and you're going to keep buying them anyway, and you're going to follow the show, then that little donation of yours will help, significantly. At the moment, I think I've got about enough for not quite 2 tanks of fuel. All right, I don't think I'd have enough for 2, but it'll probably come reasonably close, 1 3/4 maybe. So, this doesn't throw voluminous amounts of money at me, or at least it hasn't at this juncture. And rest assured, if it does actually work out that way, then all we're going to do is grow this. All we're going to do is help you grow. And I see a lot of chats with people, or a lot of people in the chat, wondering about ways that we might be able to get together to help those people who can't afford to get the patches but are in pain. And there are those people. I want to help. I really do. Somebody sent me an email last night about it saying, can I set up a GoFundMe where people can donate into, so that we use that money to buy the patches, and we buy the patches through the Voice of Freedom link. So we get our little $15 whack out of that. Then I'm looking into it, is all I can say. I don't know that we can do it that way. I have spoken to Tim about it. He believes there might be a way we can do it. Nobody's ever really wanted to be that generous before, folks. I think we're throwing a few sticks in the spokes here, which is great. But nobody said no, we can't do it. And if that is simply a matter of setting up an account, then I will ask Cass to do that with the company, and we'll open up an account, give that to you, and that account will simply be to buy patches, which we will send out to people on our list. Okay. Now, if you are a chronic pain sufferer and you are, a pensioner who has $20 left at the end of every pension fortnight, and you have that left, a couple of hours after you receive your pension, then affording this is going to be difficult, very, very difficult for you. They're the kind of people I want to help. I don't want to help lazy people or somebody who's got the money and just doesn't want to spend it. And to be honest, I think the kind of karma you'd be earning for yourself if you were going to do that, not the kind of karma I'd want to be earning for myself, put it that way, not going forward. So genuine people in need, okay, then yes, I think we will be able to help them. And if we help them, we might be able to save them money over the course of a few months, where they can start buying their own patches, or they're feeling well enough that they don't want them. They go off them for a while. They can always come back to us, or not. Might be fixed. Who knows? I don't know. Haven't worn one long enough to find out. So there are options we're looking at, because I would dearly love to help people. And I have a number of stories that have been emailed to me, and those people will be contacted. We're going to need to see some evidence of it all, because let's face it, we can't fund everybody. But for those people who are desperate, we might be able to help you for a month. But I did say that I am concerned about helping people who have no means going forward to get these patches, and giving them a taste of them. You get 2 patches, and if it works for you like it did for Kate, 2 days later you haven't got any more patches, and you don't know how to get them, or you do know how to get them, you just can't afford to get them. I don't know what would be worse, having the pain or knowing that there is a way that you can ease that pain if only you had. We might see a sharp rise in bank robberies. Oh, well, that'd be a waste of bloody time. There's no money left in banks anymore, is there? So no worries about that. Don't do that. Going to need a D10 bulldozer and a bloody good forklift to crack open ATM machines. I'm joking. That's a joke, right? Just in case the authorities are getting stupidly minded. Got to say these things nowadays, folks, just in case. So yes, if we can help, then I would love to be able to build that with you together. And it'll be a huge admin job and a huge post job and reposting job. And quite obviously it presents some significant challenges, particularly when I don't have enough time in the day as it is. But we will make it happen somehow. So Tim and I will talk further about it and decide the best way forward. We might even involve Trevor in that conversation, I think, Trevor Chatham. See what we can do. But don't wait for us. If you have the opportunity then and the need, don't go and do it just because you want to feel good, unless you actually feel a lot of pain and you don't want to feel it any better. You don't want to feel it anymore. Trying to do 2 things at the same time there. I've just put the link back up in the chat. So go and try it. If you want to go onto my list, I can tell you it will be sometime in January before you will get 2 free patches from me. I have that many on the list already that both the order that arrived today and the next one are gone, and I'm waiting for the one that I've ordered to come after that, and it might arrive before Christmas, but I doubt that you will get it from me until maybe the second week of January. So if you are in a lot of pain and you want to give somebody's Christmas a bit of a lift and a bit of a test at the same time, then shoot onto that link and buy a pack of bronze pack of patches. If they don't work for the person you're giving them to or using on yourself in the first 2 or 3 days, then let me know. I'll buy them back off you, and I will give them away to the people on my list that I can't fill fast enough to try. So I don't want you losing money, and I want as many people as possible to benefit. But like I say, I've had 2 people tell me, they had no effect. Sunflower, God love you. That's a sticker. Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And Springtree, thank you for your sticker as well. These sticker things amaze me, quite honestly. I don't know if you know how YouTube works with monetization, but you can go to a page called Analytics and you can see exactly where your earnings are for the month. I'm not sure if I'm the only one, but my earnings go backwards every month. They'll start. I've never seen more than. I don't think I've ever seen more than $314 maybe for the month. But yesterday I just happened to look at it because I'm not driven by how many people watch the show or how much money comes out of it, because clearly there's not enough to care. But yesterday I was looking at other analytics and just happened to glance at that part on the page, and it said that I had $301.85 coming to me in this period. I thought, wow, that's better than the last ones. I went back and had a look today just to see if it had changed any. It had. It's now down to 293. Tomorrow it'll be under 270. Oh, well, no, the day after it'll be under 270. By the end of the pay period, it'll be down to about $160. That's usually what they wind up sending me. I don't know how that works because people are still watching. I know because a very dear friend who has capabilities in this area analyzed a live stream and gave a fairly accurate figure of how many people are actually watching live. Now, forget the counters and forget how many numbers you see after the show, live watchers. They're all lies. They're all lies. Apparently, there are somewhere between 6,000 and 8,000 people most nights watching this show. So when it goes out live, I don't see any of those numbers reflected on YouTube. I have seen better numbers coming through on Rumble, but bear in mind they're owned by the same people. They just let you think you're getting away with it on Rumble, and one day they'll pull that as well. Have no fear. BitChute is probably where I should be going next and setting up another channel. Bear in mind that my earnings for Rumble this month are $22.02. I don't know if I've got it here. Give me a minute. Oh, no, they're videos. Give me a minute. I'll see whether or not I can actually find it, because I took a screenshot of it for you, just because I knew somebody was going to say, oh, you're making a fortune out of this shit online. Trust me, I'm not. Nothing of the sort. No, I mustn't have sucked it in. But I do have it. I will endeavor to dig it out and show you. But my earnings for this month are $22.02 from Rumble. God love you. But thank you to the 4 or more thousand people who've signed up to be part of that channel over there. And if you haven't done so already, folks, go there and do it, because they're slowly but surely kicking me off all the YouTube platforms. I have no doubt that the Voice of Freedom channel on YouTube probably won't get back. They'll find another black mark and strike me. I'm sitting on 2 at the moment. We're off the air live for 2 weeks on that channel, but it has 2 strikes against it, meaning that if I do anything weird, stupid, or say something they don't agree with, I'll be completely removed. That channel will be completely removed. I suspect the Nun 2K channel will go alongside of it, but that's for reasons too long and boring to go into now. So make sure you go over to the Rumble account and join there. Voice of Freedom, or look for me under OzEye, OZEYE. Who could tell I used to play sniper games? David, you're never late. You can, well, I think you're starting at the start unless you somehow manage to jump to the middle. But if you're starting at the start, then by the time I've seen that message and you're hearing this, you are probably 45 minutes deep into the show. So I hope that's going all right, mate. Let me have a bit of a scroll down, see who else is talking about things. Cops are freaking out in your town, telling people to detox. What's going on there, Veronique? Paramedics are telling people to detox as well. Wow. Are you getting much reaction to that, Veronique, on the shop window? Are people taking photos with it, phones and all that kind of thing, going to take it home, or are they just ignoring it? Because I wouldn't be at all surprised to find they are just ignoring it. Some people just, yeah, wow. Stu, I'm glad you're feeling well. I don't know, I missed the line about you and a car accident or no brakes, but the patch saved you. Reaction time, focus. Yes, I've noticed that too. It does really focus the mind. Maybe that's what you're getting to. I hope that is the case for you, brother. Let me have a look here. DM. M. Seeger of Truth ripped up Charlie pretty hard. Grifted class, but if the patches work, they work. Still curious on the tech behind them. The tech behind them, if you go to www.x39freedom.net, all the tech, all the science specs, everything there. But the short end of it is they have an enzyme inside them that reacts with the heat and light coming from you. It goes into your bloodstream and activates the copper peptides, which are in your bloodstream already, but re-energizes them. And those copper peptides are responsible for the production of your own stem cells. This is not stem cell therapy where you are getting, aborted fetus stem cells injected into different parts that pain you. This is a purely natural thing, which you can go and read up on about at the website and get a load of how it's actually put together, how it works. Once you are producing your own stem cells, using the patch to excite the copper peptides in your blood, then those stem cells go to work on, well, whatever is the most serious issue. Now, for us, pain is the most recognizable issue, right? It's the most quantifiable one. If you are in pain, you put a patch on and then you're not in pain sometime later, then you can, and you've done nothing else, then you can reasonably assume that the patch has made some difference to your pain level, whether that be moderate, low, or high, or life-changing. This is why I say don't drink alcohol excessively while you try these patches out, because let's face it, we are talking about something that is working in your bloodstream, trying to work for the best in your bloodstream. And alcohol is a sterilizer. And depending on what you're drinking and how much of it you're drinking, it will kill, I suspect, I don't know, I suspect, any great benefits that you might get from your stem cells, newly born stem cells. They're going to get pissed really quick and get lost and probably not figure out what part they're meant to fix. So I'm just extrapolating. That's just me talking there. That's how my head works. But there may well be something that says something like that more scientifically at x39freedom.net. Go and have a look there. And I hope that works for you. I really hope it works for you, everybody, because it's been life-changing for Kate so far. And I mean, that was this morning. I want to see how she's gone through the day, how she's feeling now. Kate, if you're watching this, send me an email with your number. I'll give you a bell. Maybe you already have some of your number. But over the weekend at some stage, if you get the chance again to sit down and just, sit down with your phone and record something, record your thoughts on how you're feeling. I would love to, just for my purposes, love to see that. Obviously, that first reaction is wonderful, but the key to the success for you is making sure that it keeps working, because there's no good if, by 2:00 this afternoon you were face down in bed again. So I don't want that to be the case. And if it is the case, I want to know about it so that we can, talk a bit more about expectations, maybe. Not that I suspect you're going to be in any way a bad example of what these patches are. I think it's pretty clear you're going to be a fabulous example for that. So, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy to see that look on your face, the joy, the relief, and the excitement. And one day maybe we get to hear from your daughter, because maybe after the first time you go camping, or you go and do things that ordinarily you wouldn't be able to participate in. Maybe you've got, others who take her out to do those sorts of things, and you've got to stay at home and lie in bed or push yourself around. This will be not just life-changing for you, I hope, but life-changing for her and your relationship with her. I can't begin to tell you the joy that gives my heart. Just best thing ever. Best thing ever. So, yeah, good luck with that. And to all of you who are getting those patches, I wish you nothing but the same success with them. I pray every one of you gets it. Yeah. Sorry, troll. Gone. I'm not in the mood for trolls tonight. Just not playing. I did want to show you a couple of other interesting little things. Let me find where I was going to start from. This is not a bad start. Hunter Biden, well, he has been ordered to appear before Congress on December the 13th. Proceedings for contempt of Congress will be immediately initiated if Hunter does not appear. That's what the guts of that letter says down the bottom there. It's signed by James Comer and Jim Jordan. Respectively, they are the heads of their committees, one being the Oversight and Accountability Committee, the other being the Senate Judiciary Committee. They have stated very clearly that if he, after some letters from his lawyers, they saying that, he may or may, he can choose to attend, he doesn't have to attend. Well, the Congress has made it extremely clear he has no choice in the matter. He has to attend, or they will immediately instigate the contempt of Congress proceedings. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means somebody immediately goes and arrests him. Now, Hunter Biden is having a real bad time of it, because not only did that news come out today, but also a further 9 charges have been leveled against him in a California court. Now, it had been lost on me. I do remember it. I'd forgotten to mention it. But Hunter Biden's cases are all happening in a California court. Ordinarily, the absolute home of the Democratic morons and the deep state. But now, his charges are not getting any less. They are only multiplying. And I think that is a spectacular bloody thing to do. I was talking to Tim Dwyer today a couple of times, but he was having problems with his computer. I tell a lie. It wasn't the troubles with the computer. It was troubles with the power. There was no power, again, in his part of South Australia. I did ask how that big battery of Elon Musk's was going just up north of him. We're not sure that it actually works anymore. And clearly the Victorian gerbil stopped working, and that main feeder line, if it is actually back up and running yet, at a bit of a rest. So South Australia is a bit like South Africa, I think, during summer at the moment. Rolling power outages, not necessarily good. But well, hang on, electric trucks, they're going to save the day. Look at that, absolutely beautiful. Oh, wait, oops. Don't know that those electric trucks are going to do much at all. This is not a picture of a plane throwing out a chemtrail. That rainbow effect could happen just by a plane flying through the air and the sunlight changing in the water vapor the contrail that is being left behind it. That is absolutely doesn't look anything like petrol when, you know, sun has shone on it or anything like that. Doesn't look like a chemical when, you know, sunlight comes on it from a certain angle. Nothing like that. That right there is just a rainbow coming out the back end of a plane. And that is just this weird ring that got dug up out of Egypt a few years ago and hasn't been seen again. And this is just the truth. You know me and truth is a bit more. If you're anything like me, you so want to try that on one of them, don't you? Me too. And I've got a 9-volt battery, contemplating taking it with me everywhere. God, give me the opportunity for that, please. All right, folks, got to love you and leave you. We're nearly up to an hour tonight. Sunflower, thank you again for that bloody wonderful sticker. Thank you for your help. And yes, I will put it to use, getting more people, more patches, because I have to pay for the patches that I'm sending out, folks. They're not, the company isn't giving them to me. Nobody's given me freebies. I am going to keep some of these patches for me because I have been telling you I've got a little bit of what ails me, but everything in this lot here will go out to you. So my other ones should arrive in the next few days anyway, I hope. So we'll see what happens. But if you are going to receive one of these patches or two of these patches from me, please, if you can, don't be shy. Tell me in a video what your pain levels are and what your problem is before you try the patch. And then after you try the patch, whether it be hours, days, minutes, weeks, whatever it is, a month afterwards, let me know if it changed in any way. It's not to play on the show. I don't want to play every one of them on the show, but I need it for my own research, because for the people it doesn't work for, I need to find you. So, because it can't work for everybody, can it? God. What if it can work for everybody? What if it can work for everybody? We just have to be a little more patient. I tell you what, that would be just amazing. A patch that could stop dickhead drivers being dickhead drivers.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's rock!